Anthony Petropoulos. As both these players with solid records, I don't believe them in top 8 contention. Anderson is 11-2. Petropoulos is 10-3. And if you've watched Todd through the years on the Open Series, and he does have 25 Open Series top 8, so it's hard to miss him, blue mirrors is something he's very comfortable in.
I remember the Modern Open in Baltimore. Todd played a variety of blue mirror matches on the course of the day. These Dispel, Remand, Cryptic Command kind of battles could get pretty complicated. Todd played very fast, and his stuff always resolved, and his opponent's stuff never resolved.
Yeah.
He knows his way around these types of games of Magic.
See the life totals here. Petropoulos at 9, Anderson at 19. Now here's the painful truths. That's going to resolve, so Petropoulos will draw a couple of cards here. Looks like both players got pretty stocked hands. Fiery Impulse, one of the cards that Anthony has drawn. His land for the turn is Mystic Monastery. And he's got a negate, a dig, Dragon Master Outcast, Fiery Impulse, among other options there in hand. Looks like he wants to leave up the counter spell. Anderson just going to untap. He'll take a draw step here. He'll sacrifice his Flooded Strand. See what land Todd wants to search up. He'll go with a basic island. That's his first basic of the game, oddly enough. So his battle lands have been entering the battlefield tapped, even though there's just one in Prairie Stream. And I'd like to activate Jace. Not a resolve. Draw and discard. Master of the Unseen has been found. We'll discard a Tassiger.
Keep in mind, Petropoulos' life total very low now after casting the Painful Truths last turn. And Anderson's deck, even though it is an aggressive build of this deck, does have access to cards like Crackling Doom that can seal the deal. Shambling Vents are in play.
Couple chip shots there.
Kolaghan's Command. There's a way for him to close out the game from here.
Jay's going to tick down. And here's Painful Truths from Anderson. It's a negate here from Petropoulos. Will Anderson fight back? He does have a Dispel in hand. And he will fight back. So Truth is going to resolve. 3 cards coming here for Todd. He'll play a Flooded Strand. And he'll sacrifice that. Play a Master of the Unseen.
And with Petropoulos at 6, Master of the Unseen is very bad news.
Yes, it is. The Painful Truths in Anderson's graveyard will be exiled as he did flash it back from Jay, so make sure that is correct as far as our game state is concerned. Mystic Monastery here from Petropoulos. That's his land for the turn. And he's got to get something going now.
I mean, there's one route to steal this one, it feels like, it's Dragon Master Outcast, but that's a tough one.
He'll start there. Just going to pass the turn back.
You can see he's sitting on Ojutai's Command, hoping that he can, even if it dies, can potentially get it back at the end of the turn and try to sneak through a win that way.
Fire Impulse. The Fire Impulse works, which we're not surprised by that.
Yep.
Given the Ojutai command that Petropoulos does have. So he's going to try to resolve this and get back Dragon Master Outcast, a play that we have seen so much with these Jeskai decks over the past couple of months. That's in. He'll draw, and Anderson will now utter end, getting rid of that thing for good.
Very important to do.
Yep.
Once you get to this stage of the game, it's definitely the most powerful of the cards to get back via Ojutai's Command. So exiling it, even though 4-mana spell on your 1-mana creature doesn't look good, at least Anderson's done with it.
Here's a dig through time. So Petropoulos is going to delve away some cards. And he'll get to take a look at the top 7 and take 2 cards with him.
The tough thing now for Petropoulos is he kind of has to force Anderson to respond to the board every single turn, because if Petropoulos just sits back, Anderson can go ahead and make tokens with Mastery of the Unseen, and Petropoulos is at 6. So Petropoulos has to keep finding ways to get Anderson's mana to be tied up interacting with the board.
Yeah, his hand is kind of forced. Yep, Petropoulos wants to make sure. What can you do with those shambling vents? What's your mana look like? And you can see Anthony's hand, it looks pretty good.
Well, a lot of it's removal, unfortunately, for him, which is not what the game's about right now.
He's going to sacrifice Pluto Delta, fall down to 5. Going to go get himself a Sunken Hollow. And now there's Utter End, and that will take care of the Master. I think that's a pretty big deal there.
Yeah, he kind of just has to answer it right now, especially given his life total.
Yeah. We're going to go back Anderson's way. Remember, he does have an active Jace out there. A couple copies of Shambling Vent, too. And apparently no Styles command.
Not the one you want to reveal.
Nope, not quite. Well, I guess I got to cast it now. What's he want to get back? Soulfire Grandmaster. And he'll draw a card. Jace going to go up to 4. Prayer Stream the land, pass the turn back. Petropoulos will draw a card. You see he's got a lot of answers to creatures that you mentioned. Fire Impulse, 2 Crackling Dooms. Soulfire Grandmaster, not a very hard card for him to answer. Looks like he's going to start with Crackling Doom. Yep, that'll work. Jace down to 2.
But for Petropoulos, no real sources of card advantage here. He's got a lot of creatures, but how likely are they to stick around? Seems unlikely.
Here's Ochi's command, going to get back Soulfire Grandmaster. Anderson's hoping that he's going to counter and get back Soulfire Grandmaster, sure.
Well, for Todd, I think the big priority is just get every 2-for-1 you can, run them out, and hope to draw a bit better.
Okay, so the play here for Petropoulos is fight Reimpulse Soulfire Grandmaster, play Dragon Master Outcast, and force Anderson to have an answer. If not, Dragons start coming. Todd looking through the graveyard. Keep in mind, Jason's on 2, not 3. Petropoulos putting up one heck of a fight here. Remember, these Jeskai decks are 2-for-1 city.
Yes.
That's what they're all about. So Anderson's got to figure out how he wants to sequence his turn, because it looks like he's got multiple spells to play in a turn, so he's going to use Fiery Impulse there.
It's also nice for Anderson if he can get into chip shot this turn with the Shambling Vent.
Kolagon's command here. Petropoulos going to lose his... Boy, that's a heck of a turn. Play another Jace, play a Soulfire Grandmaster. Petropoulos lost his Soulfire Grandmaster, but Anthony with a pretty nice draw there in dig through time. Yep, so 2-for-1 city.
Can't make it easy.
Delve away the graveyard. Gonna get to take a look at the top 7. Remember, the last card in Petropoulos' hand right now is Crackling Doom. See if he can improve on that. A lot of Fiery Impulses, 3 of those. There's also a Soulfire Grandmaster in there. It's not a bad dig through time. It's not the best dig through time I've ever seen. Now that other blue card is a disdainful stroke.
Yeah, there's some issues with immediacy here. I think, Petropoulos ideally would like to take Soulfire Grandmaster plus one of the shock effects, but I don't think he has enough mana to rebuy this turn. I think he's short on that. And he can't get the Planeswalker off the table because the only thing he has in his hand that allows him to deal damage to Todd is a Crackling Doom, and the Jace is on 3. So that's not a bad dig through time, but Todd has enough of an advantage on the board right now that I don't know if it's going to get the job done.
What I like about this is that he can actually just clear off the board. So that's at least the bonus, because now he can Fire Impulse the Jace if he wants to.
Right.
So, and it looks like he wants to. So everything's gone. Petropoulos is out of cards, and now we head back over to Anderson, who just picked up a copy of Utter End. Fire Impulse is going to take that down, and now, yeah, we're going to see Shambling Vent come across. And one thing that I can see in Petropoulos' mana base is there aren't any shambling vents over there.
Yep. Just trade, and win with the leftovers.
Oh, Master of the Unseen.
That is going to be a bit on the slow side, though. I mean, that is a good draw step.
That's a good card to have for that. It's an utter end. Here's a manifest. Wow, look at these two go back and forth. Anderson's going to plus the Jace on the manifest, pass the turn back. Poof. Another dig through time here from Anthony Petropoulos. My, oh my.
Every time it looked like Todd was going to be able to pull ahead to the point of no return, there's been a very good draw step on the other side of the table.
There sure has been. Top 7. Let's see what Petropoulos can find here. Oh, there's an Ochitai's Command in there. Crackling Doom, Kolaghan's Command, Master of the Unseen. Oh, those cards are all so good. Dig is done resolving. Here comes the manifest. 0 power, so it's actually just going to hang back on D. Kolaghan's Command, deal 2 to that. Get back this, recast that, pass the turn back. Anderson will draw. I think it was a Fiery Impulse. Got to kill that, plus the Jace. Maybe fire up a Vent. Yep.
Sure. Nothing to do with the manifest token. It's a 0-2 now.
Yep. Looks like Petropoulos is going to just take that damage, so Anderson will gain some life here. Ochitai's Command, Bloodstained Mire here for Anthony.
If this Ochitai's Command resolves, getting back the Dragon Master Outcast, that could just be it.
Yep. And I think he's got to cast Ochitai's Command on his main phase.
There's a lot of counterspells in Anderson's deck.
Mountain the draw here for Petropoulos. See if he wants to play one of these lands or not. Gonna pass the turn back. Anderson, big draw on the way. What is this?
Sure.
Jeez, okay, yeah, sure. Everyone, let's all top deck Delve spells. I wonder why these are banned in old formats. Can't really tell.
Yeah, they're just the minimum amount of mana every single time, no matter how many of them has been cast over the course of the game.
They appear to impact the game fairly heavily, so 3 cards on the way here for Anderson. 1, 2, and 3. I think there's a Painful Truce and a Kolaghan's Command in there, I think. The Vent might be going back in the mana row now.
Yep. I think you want to see first, because you can Painful Truce to try to find a counterspell to punch through the Kolaghan's Command.
Yep.
We know Petropoulos' hand is just lands, but Todd doesn't know that.
Well, Todd picked up a couple lands at a Disdainful Stroke. Stroke might be pretty useful here. A lot of the spells in the matchup are cheap, but here's Kolaghan's Command. Take that down. And does he want to does he have something to rebuy? It looks like he does in Jace, and he's going to maybe recast that. It's unclear. Tick up, pass turn back. All right. Ooh, that's going to be hard to do.
That's not in play.
Yep. That'll just be his draw step for the turn. But yeah, Mastery is long gone. So they might just cause a shuffle here.
But there's been some dig through times, so.
Yeah, that's awkward right there. Obviously an honest mistake, but.
And that card is just the draw step, so not a huge deal.
Yeah, we'll see what the ruling ends up being here.
You can tell both these players definitely conscious of time.
Yeah, and there will be a time extension granted here.
Todd is ahead, but not to such a degree that Petropoulos couldn't come back. We've seen this spot several times so far in the game where Petropoulos was able to draw well and come back into it. But speed is of paramount importance, and when you play really fast, sometimes you forget certain cards have been removed.
Yeah, so they're shuffling because he's resolved some of them dig through time. So some of the cards will get shuffled, some of them will stay because of dig. And so now this has been fixed. It appears that mana should be untapped, and we will get confirmation on what kind of time extension these players are granted. And it looks like these players are going to be gifted a 1-minute extension. Did not take long to fix up that ruling. Bloodstained Mire here from Anderson. It's pretty important for both these guys to finish.
Yep.
So here's Smoldering Marsh. We know Petropoulos has at least one card in hand. Anderson gassed back up with a Dig Through Time and with a Painful Truce and a Treasure Cruise.
I think Petropoulos is on empty. I think he is just on lands right now.
Here's Jace. Yeah, Flooded Strand over there for Petropoulos, along with another land. Gonna cash this Jace in, Will Anderson. And looks like he wants to go for a cruise yet again. You know, the thing about it just costs so much mana.
So expensive.
Yeah.
And, you know, if the game's gone on for a long time, maybe you can discount it a little bit, but it's just, you know, it's just a lot.
It's a lot of mana. So Ancestral Recall will resolve. Soulfire Grandmaster among the cards Todd has found. So he'll deploy that. And we have seen this 1-2 punch of creatures from Anderson all weekend long. Shambling Vent wants to come into the red zone. Disdainful Stroke, the draw here.
So on turn 2, Todd can just go for it. He's got a Kolaghan's Command to flash back, which sneaks under a Disdainful Stroke.
Todd can activate Jace, draw, discard.
He's got his Vent. He's got his Soulfire Grandmaster.
I think he's got it all here. Jace is going to flip. We are in extra turns. Looks like Todd wants to fire up a Vent here. At least one, maybe two, as it's turn 2 of extra turns. Anderson will play a land. Activate them both, swing it in. That's going to do it. Todd Anderson's going to win this match here over Anthony Petropoulos. 2-1 in extra turns. This guy Black Mirror goes to the man in the red beanie. And for Todd Anderson, that's 12-2. That means he's into the top 8 with Logan Mize, and that means a 26th Open Series top 8 here for Todd Anderson.
Congratulations, the real difference maker to me in that game. There were some big draws back and forth. Plenty of spots where it looked like one person was beaten, the other drew pretty well.